Court-martial.
Then it's my job to keep you alive long enough so you can testify.
Torpedoes in the water! Ship ready! Solution ready! Weapon ready!
5 seconds, sir.
Fire!
Hi everyone, Mike here for another episode of Mike's Reviews. I'm going to dive in today to talk about Hunter Killer, which is actually available streaming on HBO at this moment. And that's how I watched it, because I'm stuck at home watching movies, and I'm sure you are too. Before I go into my little take on this, if you want to see some spoilers, if you want to see a more in-depth discussion about this film, the things I like, the things I didn't like, check us out on our Patreon, which will be below. There I will not hold back. Here I'm going to just kind of gloss over it, let you know what my thoughts about it, whether you should see it or not, and go from there. But if you want to actually have watch me have more of an in-depth conversation about this film, come on over to our Patreon. Anything you can contribute would be greatly appreciated to help us make more content like this, like our studio content. So yeah, great. So Hunter Killer came out in 2018. I think it got a theatrical release. I can't remember. I didn't see it in the theaters, although when the trailer came out, I thought it looked pretty cool. So Hunter Killer 2018, rated R, 2 hours and 2 minutes. And the synopsis quickly: an untested American submarine captain teams with U.S. Navy SEALs to rescue the Russian president who has been kidnapped by a rogue general. And so the poster is a little misleading. Gerard Butler is definitely the star. Gary Oldman is not the second. He's not the second star. His role is actually fairly small in this film. So don't if you're a huge Gary Oldman fan, he doesn't do a whole lot in this film. He's in it. He has some cool lines, some fun scenes, but you shouldn't see this film for Gary Oldman. It was a pretty tense little movie, and it also stars Common and Linda Cardellini and Michael Nyqvist, who was famous for the Norwegian versions. Norwegian? I can't remember. Versions of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So, fun little film. Pretty tense. Pretty serious. It's like there's a rogue general in Russia who is trying to get the Americans to attack so that he can seize control from the president and start a new war. And it starts with a American sub trailing a Russian sub, and the Russian sub is hit and goes down, and then the American sub is hit and goes down. And it's meant to look like they kind of attacked each other so that the Americans send in a new sub and start a war, basically. And Gerard Butler, who we meet first hunting in Scotland, and he doesn't take the shot, is brought to sort of be the captain of this new submarine to go in, see if there's any survivors, and see basically what happened. He goes in and he sees the downed American sub with all the crew dead. And then he goes over and sees the Russian sub, and he sees an explosion. And he can tell from the explosion that the explosion happened inside the sub, not by a torpedo. And that's where he's like, okay, something's going on here. Something's not right. And in the meantime as well, there's a ground team in this base, and they see the Russian president being kidnapped by a rogue general, the Minister of Defense, which he's taken over basically. And so that kind of forms the plot of the film. And the ground troops have to rescue the president, get him out, and Gerard Butler has to avoid a third world war and get his crew through everything. So, would I recommend the film? Yes, especially since now it's streaming on HBO and other streaming devices. You can rent it cheaply and watch it. It's a fun film. It's pretty tense in parts. It's pretty well done for a submarine kind of movie. So yeah, I would say definitely check it out. And I will talk more about this film in our Patreon review. If you're interested, check us out below. I'll have some spoilers. I'll have some more details, and we'll just have a nice little chat. So until next time, this has been Mike for Mike's Reviews, and see you later.